70% of our planet and 60% of our bodies, water is everywhere. It's a seemingly magical substance with properties that are scientifically phenomenal. Even philosophically, Maslow placed it at the base of his hierarchy of needs, labeling it physically necessary for survival. But for me personally, its importance stretches beyond those physiological needs to the top of his pyramid by cultivating my biggest fear: regret. It's one of the worst feelings in the world, attached to infinite what-ifs and late nights, pondering how life could be different. Competitive swimming has been part of my life for over a decade now, and every year our coach urges us to stay in town during spring break and continue training, which I didn't really realize the importance of my freshman year. When I returned after taking the week off, my once promising season had changed. In the first meet back, I added 10 seconds in my event, which is practically years in swimming terms. But I was pretty sure by the time I got back to league finals, I'd be back in shape. I was wrong. Ending the year 7 seconds off my time, I began reflecting and felt such strong regret about taking that trip. So as I moved on to 10th grade, my newfound attitude didn't allow for a single wasted lap in the pool. I stayed home for break, wishing safe travels to my mom and sister as they headed off to Hawaii. I put in the hours and it paid off. I dropped 6 whole seconds that year at league finals. My wholehearted focus on swimming, combined with my perfect attendance record, did begin to take the place of fun, but it was worth it to avoid that dreaded feeling I had for 12 months prior. I began carrying this ideology with me outside the pool. Before making a decision, I would ask myself the question, am I going to regret this? Quote, "The second semester of junior year is the most important time in high school." This is a favorite quote that I'm sure everyone here has heard from parents, teachers, counselors, and peers. In the hurricane of activity that existed that semester, time became my most valuable asset. That second semester was filled with a day in and day out grind: school, swim, study, repeat. That began to take its toll. My weekly pickleball games were put on hold, dates with my girlfriend were rain checked, and I rarely spoke with my parents away from the dinner table. I believed that I couldn't take my foot off the gas amidst that fabled crunch time, because I was taught that the number on the bottom of your transcript matters down to the decimal. The scores on AP Classroom in July determine your future, and if you don't travel to the moon, then you can kiss the Ivy League goodbye. Enter the complication. Eventually, the invites to pickleball stopped being sent, the rain checks collected dust, and my parents grew frustrated with my quiet and busy yet always tired persona. While laboring to chase these quantifiable achievements in swim times, grades, and test scores, I began to lose out on things whose value can't be chalked up to a number. In a short-sighted attempt to run from one regret, I sprinted towards a bigger yet different one. The people closest to me were drifting. This is how I found the flaw. What if regret is attached to both sides? Focusing on my junior year obligations may be the right choice in terms of tangible success, but what about my loved ones? The truth is that after my freshman year, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. While she thankfully recovered quickly, it provided me a new perspective on time. It's unpredictably finite. Had the outcome of that diagnosis been different, there's nothing I would have wanted more than to go back on that Hawaiian trip that I had skipped. We all have things we regret, but living a life in fear of it, is that even a life truly being lived? As I now think about this question, I found that there isn't really one answer. I encourage you all to think about it in your everyday decisions, big or small, everything from where you're going to commit to college to who you sit with at lunch. Which option will lead to the path of least regret? Which regret do you care about more? The problem remains though. These regrets often don't manifest until later on, or manifest in an unpredictable way. And so, I believe in the importance of weighing decisions before making them and learning from past mistakes, but being okay with whatever the outcome is, because life is too unpredictable to know everything, and spending your days harping on the regrets of the past is not a life worth living. This I believe.